This man's eyes deserve an Oscar.
You're so scared.
You could recut this entire scene. Just focusing on his eyes, we would all know exactly what was going on. On today's episode of Iconics, we're jumping into the sunken place because this scene changed my cinematic life. Now, there are certain film milestones that made a major impact on me. Imitation of Life, Spike Lee's Crooklyn in 1995, and this is probably my top 3 in terms of inspiration. And today I want to talk about the sunken place.
Wait. Sink.
Get Out released in 2017 as a cultural phenomenon in its unique genre-bending premise of an interracial relationship that meets the parents. Chris and his girlfriend Rose are getting more serious, and Rose invites him for a weekend-long getaway with her parents, Missy and Dean. At first, Chris reads the family's odd behavior as awkward feelings around the black boyfriend, but as the weekend progresses, a series of very disturbing events leads him to a truth that he never could have imagined. And this scene is iconic in every single way, from Daniel Kaluuya's breakout performance to Catherine Keener's masterful manipulation.
So you're comfortable enough, right?
It's perfect. Thanks.
Sure. Now you're feeling very sleepy. We do use focal points sometimes to guide someone into a state of heightened suggestibility.
Heightened suggestibility.
That's right. That's right.
Just in this section, the dialogue is flawless because it feels effortless and yet not so normal a conversation. They're talking about her unique job as a hypnotherapist, and all of this while Chris is not in the presence of his girlfriend. It's just the two of them, for the first time, alone. And just when Missy asks about his mother, we see his reaction.
What about your mother?
What about her? Wait, are we?
Where were you when she died?
I don't want to think about that.
It's incredible acting. The eye twitch just enough to make us all feel uneasy with her line of questioning. And he studies her, trying to get a read on where she's going. When I was in acting school, something that our professors would always stress in class is that stillness is powerful. When you don't have to move at all and your face and your voice conveys all that's going on inside your character's mind. It holds a lot of energy and tension. And it's really captivating because it holds you hostage as the audience, arrested by the stillness and the silence and the space.
You hear the rain?
Mm-hmm.
You hear it? Find it. Tell me when you found it. Come here, Chris, look at me.
Found it.
Where was your mom?
Now, Missy is magical and hypnotic, just like her tea stir, and the tears are flowing. She feigns compassion while also calmly rotating him over the proverbial fire, a slow roast of his personhood and his response.
Nothing.
I just sat there.
You didn't call anyone?
No.
Why not?
I don't know. I just thought that if I did, it'd make it real.
You have to imagine that these are really long takes with a massive camera pushing in towards Daniel as he reacts in this scene. So this huge obstruction is in front of his face and he is maintaining all of this emotional torment while this happens, which is incredibly difficult to do, and even more so to remain consistent if there's any break in those takes.
How do you feel now?
I can't move.
You can't move.
Why can't I move?
You're paralyzed. Just like that day when you did nothing. You did nothing. Now, sink into the floor.
Wait.
Sink.
This abyss and falling without ceasing into nothingness is everyone's nightmare. And we see that Chris is no longer in his body, a loss of autonomy and power, the ability to move or escape. She closes him out of his own person. And the nightmare here is the control in which she exerts with this teacup. And the dehumanization and tragedy of Chris in this moment, being trapped in nothingness while his body is consumed, can be paralleled with the ways that many people feel in life itself and have felt in past. Now, I'm not going to ascribe too much meaning to this because I think it's pretty obvious based on the premise of the full movie, but just the perspective that the camera is taking in this with those three angles, right? Missy's, Chris, and the teacups makes this one of the most impactful and horrifying scenes, not just in horror as a genre, but in cinema, because the power exchange is like this tennis match where Missy finds her trigger and exploits it fully. I think something about this that really strikes me, even in a rewatch of it, is that much of the movie is based on this understanding of racial appropriation, right? And I don't want to spoil anything for you if you haven't seen it, but the idea here is that Black people's bodies are for the taking. They're up for auction even, much like slavery in America's past. And I would be remiss to not mention that, in the sense that so much of the Black body in America and in this society has often been taken, appropriated, used for other people's gain, profit. And there's so many like metaphors that are sliding right now when I think about music and sports and entertainment and culture, and the way that Black culture is the tastemaker for much of the other cultures, and how that puts us in an incredibly vulnerable position to experience this nightmare in reality. So the sunken place, metaphoric, actual. But the sunken place is, in this context, is much more about the loss of a voice and autonomy to not be the token, if you will. And I think seeing this movie made such an impact on me because I realized how much of the world was trying to hypnotize me into believing something about myself, into believing something about my, not only Blackness, but womanness, right? And that being taken by the culture and by society and what has been told. So there's a lot here that comes up for me emotionally when I watch this scene. So what do you think about the sunken place or this scene overall? Let me know your comments below, and if you have anything else to add that we can all learn from. And make sure that you hit the like and subscribe button for future videos. I would love to see you back on the channel for another episode of Iconics, where we dive deep into scenes.